It's comfort food season. You can tell by my giant oversized sweatshirt today. I am in cozy mode all the way, but that doesn't necessarily mean we have to eat unhealthy all the time. Today we're making a butternut squash with red pepper soup. This one's so flavorful and so cozy, but it's actually good for us. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Tara with Simply Made Eats, and today we are making something a little bit on the healthier side. I have been like living off of pastas and casseroles and mashed potatoes and all the things. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drink lemon water after my 2 cups of coffee, and we're gonna make something healthy today. So we're gonna go with this butternut squash and red pepper soup. It is loaded with veggies. We've got onion, butternut squash, some garlic. We're gonna use coconut milk. So this one is dairy-free too, which is always good. You can also make it vegetarian. If you wanna swap the chicken stock out for vegetable stock, totally cool. You're gonna get really good flavor still. So we are gonna get started by chopping up our butternut squash, which is gonna be like the most prep in this actual recipe. The rest is just really easy. First things first, we've got our oven preheating to 400 degrees. Butternut squash can definitely be a little bit of a stinker to peel. You can definitely buy this like pre-cubed at the grocery store, but I feel like it's not quite as fresh that way, and it's also more expensive. So I'm gonna show you how to prep this today. It's not a big deal. We need a vegetable peeler and a sharp knife. We also need a scrunchie for the hair. For those of you who get mad at me when I cook with my hair down, I'm sorry. All right, first thing we're gonna do is just chop this bad boy in half. This is why a sharp knife is super important, because it will grip way better than a dull one. And then we are just gonna scoop the seeds out. We don't need them for this recipe. It smells like pumpkin. I love that smell in fall. It's like the best smell. And just make sure you get all those strings too. We don't want any of that in our soup. I'd be like my husband, and like, he like makes me and the kids scoop his pumpkin out. He'd be so mad if I told the whole world that, but he like does not like the texture of pumpkin seeds or like all the guts inside the pumpkin. I think it's fun. It's like my favorite thing about carving pumpkins. My kids carved pumpkins last weekend with their grandma, and I already had to throw them out. They were all moldy inside already, because we just have inconsistency with weather here. It gets really hot sometimes, and we're supposed to get a heat wave. I'm like, ugh, I do not want hot weather anymore. A heat wave, I mean like 80 degrees, so it's not like gonna be like 90 or anything, but still, I'm just like in the fall season. I want it to be like 60s. All right, dump that out. We're also just gonna chop the stems off. Does anybody have big plans this Halloween? I don't like spooky stuff, so I don't make a huge deal out of it. But I am gonna dress up this year, which is definitely new for me, because I feel like I haven't dressed up since my kids have been little. Like, I always just focus on them dressing up, and this year we're going to the Renaissance Festival, which is so fun. It's my daughter's birthday on Sunday, so we're gonna have the Renaissance Festival be part of her birthday party. I'm dressing up as an evil queen because my youngest is gonna be Snow White, so I thought it would be kind of fun. At first I was gonna be Merida from Brave, and my kids told me I look like Merida's mom, which made me really sad and feel old, but it is what it is. All right, next for the super fun part, we are just gonna use our vegetable peeler and just start peeling away at this. We want it to be orange. So get it to like that portion. That way we're like in all that good sweet squash. You could also use a knife for this, like a paring knife. I just feel like it's easier to get to the actual meat with a vegetable peeler. It can be a little messy though, I know that. Also, like, once you cut the stem off this end, if you make it so it's kind of flat, you can use it as a surface. It's a little bit easier to get at. Once you're done peeling all that brown skin off, we're gonna go ahead and toss this or save it for our stinky chickens, which I'm gonna do. because they love to eat everything. Next, we're just gonna chop these up into cubes. That way they're gonna roast a little bit faster in the oven. Let me do it this way instead. You wanna just cut them into similar size cubes. That way they'll cook around the same. And just be careful, guys, because it really is hard to cut through the squash. Okay, and then once we get our butternut squash all cubed, we're gonna cut up a half of an onion. And we just want this to be in wedges. You just want to cut this into wedges just like this. This is all going to be immersion blended or just blended at the end, so we don't need to have everything chopped up small, which I love those kind of recipes. I like to just pull these apart a little bit just so they cook a little bit better. I've also got 2 garlic cloves peeled. Those can stay whole. And we're going to add all of our onions and butternut squash to a cookie sheet. The oven is all preheated to 400 degrees because it took forever for the butternut squash to get cut up. Just plan like 15 minutes, you guys, for that, because it does take a little bit. All right. And then we are gonna just add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Just drizzle it over the top of those veggies. I'm gonna add maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. This just helps bring out all those really yummy flavors. And just give this a nice toss. Try not to drop stuff on the floor like I just did. These are gonna bake for about 35 to 40 minutes in the oven. And then after that, you guys, it's like super simple to finish up the soup. We've got some chicken stock, coconut milk. You can also use heavy cream if you'd rather, if you don't care about it being dairy-free. Go ahead and pop these in the oven. We're gonna check them around 30 minutes. We want them to be fork tender and just fall apart. And now we wait. Who am I kidding? I have like 47 things that I could be doing right now. Isn't it always like that? Like, I feel like that's like motherhood. It's just like knowing that there's like a million things that you should be doing at every single minute, and you can never get it all done. It's impossible. Okay, so now that those are almost done, we got 10 minutes left. We might need a little bit longer. But we're gonna go ahead and get our roasted red peppers out. This is a 12-ounce jar, and I've just strained most of the juices out. There's a little bit left. And these are gonna get immersion blended too, but I like to just give them a little bit of a chop first. So what we want for our texture is just where it just comes right apart with a fork. You can just split it right in half, just like that. These are fully cooked. Now it is officially time to make our soup. We've got some olive oil or a little bit of butter you can just add into a Dutch oven over medium heat. Then you want to add in those roasted red peppers and all the veggies from the oven. Give this a really good stir. We're going to top it off with a little bit of salt and some crushed red pepper for just a little heat. Then you want to add in 32 ounces of chicken stock. We're going to cover this and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to let it cool off just a little bit, and we're going to immersion blend it until fully smooth. You can also put this into a blender or a Vitamix. Then we're gonna add in the coconut milk, and we're gonna stir this, and that's it. Okay, so our soup is done, and we definitely have options for topping. So you could check out my soup croutons, which are super yummy. They're garlicky and crunchy and delicious. You could also do some sunflower seeds. I'm gonna be using just a little bit of crushed red pepper, and then I'm gonna use a little swirl of coconut milk on top. But it's really up to you. If you're not dairy-free, Parmesan cheese is really good on this too. It pairs really nice with that sweet butternut squash, but a bunch of options. You can go with whatever you want. That's it, we're all done with this butternut squash and red pepper soup. This one is so yummy. I know you guys will love it. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you like it. And if you love soup recipes, make sure to check out my French onion soup too. It's a classic recipe and it's so good. Make sure to like this video and subscribe so we can keep on cooking together. I share new recipes every single week and I love sharing them with you. Thanks so much for being here and I'll see you next time. Bye. You're gonna love this one. It screams fall.